All right, here we go. Welcome to Levels, your MMA and boxing headquarters show. We are getting down, baby. Downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. We're right off Fremont Street in the Gorilla Cross Studios. Doing our thing here. Jay Long here with the Sportsnista CCCC. How are you this evening?
I'm good. Curly girl hair is, I got a half fro right now. So,
only on the right side of your face.
Doing my best.
You do. Got that half fro going on. And shout out to our guy, C. Williams, on the other network they have here, because it's a lot of fun. Doing the stripper dance. We're doing that.
Just save a pole, get you a little backdrop.
Hey, it's that time of the year. If you're giving donations, you're giving turkeys. Save a lady on a pole. So give $1. C. Williams
Fun
Show Power Hour. Yeah, good stuff, man. So we got a lot of fun stuff happening. It's fight week, baby.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the best time of every single year is fight week, which is every other week here in Las Vegas.
Pretty much. Thank God, yeah.
Well, it's the big one. Deontay Wilder-Luis Ortiz. We're going to get to that. We got a lot of fun stuff. But first, let's hit some news and notes from around the MMA and boxing world. Ben Askren. Funky Ben Askren calls it a career and citing that he needs all kinds of hip replacement surgeries. Long time undefeated, was a Bellator champ, a ONE FC champ. His UFC career, kind of uneven. Goes 1-2, gets a victory, I guess, over Robbie Lawler, and then eats the knee from hell from Jorge Masvidal. Gets submitted by Damian Maia, and he says, you know what, that's it, man. I can't do it no more. Cece, your thoughts on Ben Askren and his retirement?
Nuts. So Funky out, bye-bye to Funky. But, he has, if you want to look at how successful that run is, there's some numbers that stand out other than the wins and losses. He was outlanded in significant strikes, 29-0 in those 3 matches. He ate 69 significant strikes from Damian Maia, the most ever in Maia's career that he has ever landed. So, at 35 years old to need a significant surgery like that, you took on some heavy damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You know who won, though, was UFC. Think about how many pay-per-views they got off of people just really wanting to see this guy go down one way or another. I mean, he was great on Twitter, right? He was, he had a belt of his own on Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely.
But maybe peaked a little bit too soon. Picked the wrong opposition in UFC, and Funky out.
Well, you forget how long Askren did it, and he had an accomplished amateur career, gold medals and things like that, and never could really see eye to eye with Dana White.
Yeah.
Was one of these guys that was very outspoken. Dana White does not like outspoken guys unless you're Conor McGregor or Ronda Rousey. And I was one of those guys who, you always thought maybe could be up in the upper echelon of fighters.
Yeah.
But unfortunately didn't get to prove himself in the UFC until later in his career. And you see what happened there.
He didn't prove nothing. He just proved he didn't really belong there.
He didn't prove anything at the end there. So hats off to Ben Askren. Good retirement.
Happy but I will say this, Ben, if you look at the announcement and his responses this week, he is a very humble man.
He really is.
He knows how to own up to his shortcomings, and he doesn't hide from anything. And so, he might just be a good human and not a good UFC fighter. That ain't a bad thing.
I guess. I guess. He was kind of that last of the old guard. Last of one-dimensional fighters.
Thank goodness, right?
Wrestling, he kind of caught hands against smaller guys and things like that. But really only relied on his wrestling
Yeah.
And, against guys like Jorge Masvidal and even
do.
Damian Maia, who is an elite level black belt, there's no shame in
Nah.
losing to guys like that.
Right.
Absolutely not. But just later in his career, you're kind of left with what ifs with Ben Askren. And I think that's the most frustrating part is you're left with what ifs.
I think we got enough.
In his prime, I think he could have done some legit work. So
yeah, good for him. Good luck with the hip surgery, fella.
announced today through multiple sources that UFC flyweight champ Valentina Shevchenko is going to be defending her title February 8th against Caitlin Chukagian.
You got it.
And it may be in Houston, and it may be either UFC 246 or UFC 247, depending on what the hell Conor McGregor does.
Well, depending on if he catches any more cases or what the ruling is.
He may
the
punch some
ones
old
that
men.
are pending, or he
may
might
throw some dollies at people.
He might punch out like a picture of Bruce Lee or something. Who knows with that fool what he's gonna be doing?
We do have a picture.
Here.
We got a picture of Bruce Lee back here, baby.
Don't come in here.
Come on, Conor McGregor. Do it.
Valentina, though, is perhaps the most technically sound fighter in all of UFC. She's a proficient striker, which equals boring. Quite boring.
Really
Very
boring. You think
talented.
Valentina?
Oh man.
Bullet is boring.
boring.
Bullet boring? Really?
Yes, she's so technically.
Did she get a
sound.
knockout of the year candidate earlier this year?
I don't recall.
I think so.
It is
A head kick.
possible.
A head kick
Yeah.
knockout of the year. So that'll come up. They're saying slating Houston, my friends back in Houston. You're gonna get a championship fight there.
Maybe your boy will be on that card.
Hey, Ryan Spann.
Yeah,
you
there
never
you
know.
go.
He wants to fight in front of his peoples,
His peoples are
and
in
we
there.
are his peoples.
That's it. Or at
So-
least his peoples.
His peoples. Yeah, there you go. Speaking of Conor McGregor, talks, according to his manager, talks are ongoing with Donald Cerrone and UFC for that January fight. Asking you just straight up, do you care at this point to see Conor McGregor? I mean, I know casual fans, we talked about that last
Mostly
week.
with my
Casual
casuals.
fans, most people do want to see Conor McGregor back in the cage.
See what he got.
How excited are you to see a Conor McGregor Donald Cerrone matchup?
They both need a W. So, they both actually have something to get in there for other than the money. And so it could be more competitive than we think. Cerrone, he seems to be the bounce back king. He can go on a losing streak and then come in and look phenomenal. So that could definitely happen. I always want to see what Conor McGregor is going to do once he gets in the octagon. It's outside of the octagon that I don't really need to see. I don't need all those shenanigans.
Who are they setting up to win here? Because
they want Conor to win.
Cerrone's coming off that loss to Justin Gaethje.
And he did not look good.
Huh.
He did not look good. I think UFC is those pay-per-views always do better when Conor McGregor is at the top of the card, and the promotion does better when Conor McGregor is winning. So it is beneficial for them financially should Conor pull off the win in that fight if they get it inked. I think Cerrone wants it. I mean, it'd be probably the biggest paycheck of his career.
Arguably, two of the most beloved fighters in UFC's history, in Donald Cerrone and Conor McGregor. I guess we can't wax too poetically until it's signed.
Right.
But I mean, Donald Cerrone is loved by the hillbillies.
Yep.
We love him. I'm from the South. I
He's
get
got
it.
that cute baby, though.
He does have a cute baby, but he's got to deal with Bud Light, and hey, I'm just a drinking, hunting, smoking kind of guy, and I go out and kick butt because I like fighting. And he got Conor McGregor, who's actually doing a little bit of rehab right now. He just gave, I think, $1 million. $1 million. $1 million from Proper 12, his whiskey brand, sells to help out someone.
Look at
I know he's giving it to charity.
That's good.
Doing a little bit of image reconciliation.
As you should. It's being put to good use. You don't like to see the hooch being put to good use. He's selling some bottles.
Gotta love the hooch.
Hey.
Man. Gotta love
I
the
ain't mad at no hooch.
All right, so in Bare Knuckle FC, Jason Knight knocks out the greatest of all time, Artem Lobov. And I guess was a nice man. What do you think about this bare knuckle?
I didn't see that, but I've seen the bare knuckle up close.
I've seen Valor with Ken Shamrock, and there's bare knuckle. There's all kinds of organizations now.
There's a very specific type of fan.
Now you're talking MMA, which is already niche, boxing, which is already niche, and then you're drilling down even deeper into that.
Just due to throwback, a fifth of Wild Irish Rose and like throw caution to the wind and just start swinging. Or some
that is
Wild
true.
Turkey.
Wild Turkey.
Wild Turkey. Okay. Wild Turkey ain't that bad. Do it by the cap.
I asked my brother one time. He was a longtime bartender. I asked him. Me and my friend set up at his bar at 21 years old. I said, "Mix me whatever you think," and he mixed me a Wild Turkey and whatever, and I vomited that night. So Wild Turkey, you can go straight to hell.
Cisco.
Big news for Bare Knuckle FC is that the Iranian Hulk has been announced for 2020. If you do not know the Iranian Hulk, just Google it. Yeah. You'll see this very jacked up
at night.
Iranian guy who looks like the Incredible Hulk, which is a very fitting name. He has been announced for bare knuckle competition for 2020.
How do you think his cardio is?
How do you think he's going to do overall?
Can he move longer than 90
He can't
seconds?
scratch his back.
He's going to be a sitting target.
Oh man, he's gonna eat a couple punches to the face. But you know what? I've been wrong before. Maybe he one shot, one kill. That's all you need if you're that jacked.
I'm gonna watch that fight on Twitter.
Yeah, I am. Because it's gonna be about a 15-second fight.
I'm gonna be all hashtagged like that's it.
Combate America's pay-per-view is set for December 7th, which is Pearl Harbor Day. In McAllen, Texas, my old stomping grounds, it has Tito Ortiz versus Alberto Del Rio, the famed WWE star who at one time dabbled in MMA as a above 500 record. But Tito Ortiz is still fighting. It's 2019.
I can't quit you, man. Can't quit you.
Yeah, I wish I could quit you.
Just can't.
Yeah. Curious minds will turn out, but the reason I put this on there is that two of my fighters that I've followed since their amateur careers will be on the undercard, the preliminary card. Ricky Palacios and Jose the Ghost Ceja will be fighting each other. You know what? And if they played out stories for each fight, this would be the one to watch because there is no love lost between Ricardo Palacios and Jose Ceja. Two guys who used to train together. They were friends at some point, and then it all went sideways.
There was a woman that came between them. Is that kind of vitriol that they have?
No.
It's either a woman or money.
These guys, it was pride. These guys, it was pride. There's no woman involved, no money involved. It was just, you think you're better than me? Let's do this kind of.
Knock my mama off my shoulder. That's what happened with them.
Knock my mama off my shoulder. A big thing out of Rio. All 36 refs and judges from the Rio Olympics just a couple of years ago have been banned from the 2020 Tokyo Games following all the fallout from the Rio Games, which involved allegations of fixed fights. And if you watch some of the boxing matches down in Rio, highly questionable decisions. And so all 36 judges and referees, the IOC said, no, none of you guys are invited. You're not even invited to the pre-game cocktail parties.
Nothing. You can't take a plate. Nothing.
You can't come to Japan. Don't even look to the East. Or we got your number on there, which for all the fighters that are coming up, if you're worried about stuff like that, which, we saw Roy Jones Jr. years ago get screwed out of a gold medal. Floyd Mayweather. How many amateur boxers really get screwed out of a lot of medals? We could do a whole show on it.
I think we should.
We will, probably as it comes closer to Tokyo this summer. But all 36 refs and judges X'd 86
Get to skipping.
from 2020. And there you go. Sergey Kovalev claims that consecutive camps hindered him against Canelo. You are ignoramuses, he says, since you thought I could win. I don't. Sergey,
Well,
my friend, you got knocked out. You got dropped like third period French.
you got knocked out. You got paid. He definitely got paid. But he definitely, Sergey's not going to win any kind of spirit stick or any medal for being a stand-up guy. He's had some other issues other than this hot mess right here. But it's a damn shame, and it's embarrassing actually for boxing when you have a champion of his caliber. He was a figure in the division for a given amount of time. He was a talented fighter. He was involved in a historical fight against Canelo Alvarez, and you come out your mouth like that, boy, bye.
Come on, man.
Bye. You're so whack for that.
Sergey. So we are going to take a very quick break. When we come back, we want you to call in 702-608-3259 because we are going to bring you sights and sounds from Fight Week here in Las Vegas. Deontay Wilder-Luis Ortiz. We want to hear your comments. We want to hear your questions. And we're going to have some fun with this because we got in there. CC was talking to everybody.
Got a mic.
Everybody who was of any kind of importance. CC was throwing that mic in their face. You're going to answer her. You're going to answer us. 30 seconds. We'll be right back here. This is Levels.
Yo, you tuned in to Gorilla Cross Radio.
Back to Levels. I'm Jeremy Long. That's the Sportsnista. She's doing her thing. Call in 702-608-3259. It is Fight Week in Vegas.
Yes.
The electricity in the air is palpable.
Love it.
I
love Fight Week, man.
Gosh, man. Whenever it's UFC or boxing,
you
got to love big
my
fights.
happy place.
It is. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to be in. So, like we said before the break, CC was all over the place. You was talking to everybody.
Everywhere. I had on 4-inch boots, 4-inch heels on my boots, and a microphone. And, who going to check me, boo?
4-inch boots and a microphone. I think that was the song, right?
It's not. I'm going to write it down.
There you go. You'll write that down. I want a nickel every time we sing it.
Quan got you.
All right. So, and we got clips and we got everything else. So we're going to introduce every little bit of clip that we have here. The first one was you catching up in a scrum with Deontay Wilder. Him just talking about Fight Week and why Luis Ortiz and why this guy's so dangerous and everything. So let's throw it right to the heavyweight champ, Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber.
If he can still survive with over 500 fights and maybe 40, and man, that's nothing for me. So, I just want to spread my love and my talent because when I'm done, you're not going to see no one like me ever again. I've been blessed, by God to have such tremendous power. And I don't think, people understand and recognize what they're seeing and what they're witnessing. They're waking up, but I don't think they really understand it. So 6 more years I'm going to give them to understand. That way they can't say, well, I ain't giving them a chance because you're getting a chance right now. So I just thank everyone for the support that's been supporting boxing in a hold. And November 23rd, baby, you don't want to miss it. If you can't be here, you better click it.
Deontay, how does it feel to be the BMF in boxing?
Man, it feels amazing. It feels amazing to be the baddest man on the planet. And I test anyone in the world of that. And but on the other hand, it's always motivational. For myself and others. I have so many men, women, old, young, always writing me or coming up or traveling to see me just to deliver a message to me to tell me how much I motivate them and inspire them to be a better person than what they were. And when I hear that, it's like, what have I done? Because it's not for cameras, it's not for clout, it's actually me being me, spreading my love amongst the world and just giving my opinion of what I feel and what I think, and for others it's been a lot for them. A lot of people, it's been great for their life. You know, they tell me, you know, I'm like, damn, me, you know, just, you know, because I don't really think, I'm just a normal guy, you know, and that's how I like to carry myself. I know I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. I have nice things or whatever, but in reality, I'm just me, man. I'm just a normal guy just trying to be great and lead by example, not only to the world, but to my children.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz after this rematch with Luis Ortiz. Why did you feel that you had to give him another opportunity this time?
Well, it's a lot on the line with him, you know, age. He have an ill daughter, you know. He's not getting the opportunity as he's supposed to. And I feel like he's one of the best. And if you're one of the best, you got to get the opportunities, because in a whole boxing, it's a small community. And if people are complaining about fights, then, you know, and I look at this fighter, I'm like, man, he's one of the most dangerous fighters in the heavyweight division. He make a great fight for anybody. And I don't think there's not one person in this room would disagree with that, you know. But because of the lack of confidence that other fighters have within themselves, they don't want to give him the opportunity. So when I look amongst that, you know, it allows me to, like, hey, I'm going to do it again. The first fight, we proved people that it was, you know, it was a great fight. He's good for good TV, you know. And I wanted to come around, and I see the situation with his family, his daughter, you know, with her skin disorder. They say, you know, she can't, you know, she's growing and she's getting older. And I always relate my daughter, although this is different situations, but I always look at his daughter and my daughter. As my daughter gets older, she's into different things and she want to do things. He said his daughter getting into things, but with her disorder, it keeps her back from doing certain things. You know, they said that if she get a scratch, it feels like a third-degree burn. And I don't know anybody that ever had a third-degree burn, but I have, and I know how that feel. And I like, you know, so blessing him again with the opportunity to be on pay-per-view so the world could see, you know, the world could hear his story. You know, you just never know the outcome is gonna be after this. You know, even when he get knocked out, you know, it's gonna be people hitting him up, say, hey, bring your daughter here, or, hey, we want to do this for you, we want to do that. And it makes me feel good to know that that's going to be the situation and the case after this fight.
One more.
Deontay, you said this week you think the knockout comes earlier, but you also said with Ortiz you got to take your time to figure him out. So how do those two things, you know? I
mean, you can take your time and still knock somebody out early. You know, just look at my last fight with Brazil. You know what I'm saying?
You take your time.
Well, you know, it was, you know, so when you're saying taking your time, it's also a pace. And with the pace, that's up to you to determine what type of pace you want to take. When you go slow, it's certain levels to being slow. It's certain levels to being fast. You know, when people think about it, they have to be open-minded with this. You know, I can walk slow, but he can walk even slower. You know what I mean? So it's just a pace. So with that being said, I'm going to take my time. And when I see the opportunity, I'm going to take my shot. And all it takes is one shot from me. You know, like I said, they have to be perfect for 12 rounds. Don't have to be perfect for 2 seconds because of the power that I displayed. And I know I have power. So with knowing that you have it, you know, it's just like having magical powers. In the situation that you need to use it, you use it. And I know it's affect people. If it don't affect them when I hit them the first time, it's going to affect him when I hit him again. And he be brave enough. See, the thing about boxing, we like to be brave. And we take too many punches because of the bravery, because of the fans. We don't want to get the criticism of them. So most guys are more braver than they should be in boxing. And he continued to be brave. He know how hard I hit. He know what the effect that it's going to cause. And if you want to be brave, they say, what happens if you hit him and he don't fall? I'm going to hit him again and again and again and again and again, you know. And that's going to be the end result.
What'd you think of him saying, you're a big guy on energy. What'd you think of his energy saying someone's getting knocked out? And like you're saying, some guys, it's worse when they come forward and try to make it a fight. Malik Scott, you know, you sparred with the last week, so that's the case with Luis. He's going to try and make it more of a brawl early. And when you fight Deontay Wilder like that, it only get you knocked out soon. So what'd you think of?
I mean, when Ortiz says it's going to be a knockout, it was just like being a preacher. And I can't do nothing but say, amen. You know what I mean? Because that is exactly what's going to happen. And when guys come forward to me, because of the power that I have, you giving me all the momentum that I need, you know, because if I'm coming with full force and your face is coming with full force, when those both connect together, it ain't going to be nothing pretty. It's just like you hitting this wall, you know. Although the wall ain't coming forward, it's solid, but you coming with all the force, That's what happened with, if you go back with the Spuka fight. Spuka came forward with his head, and it gave me the momentum that I need because I was coming downward. And when it's like that, somebody's going to get knocked out crazy, and it's more likely going to be the other guy on the receiving end of this right hand.
Deontay, everybody knows you as... Oh, man. He is the son of a preacher man. He's also the grandson of a preacher man. So he's got that like Southern pastor thing going
41-0-1 with 40 knockouts. My man sound like Jimmy's Superfly Snooker in there.
A little bit.
Like you only understand like 30 seconds of what the hell he's talking about.
But
all you know
it.
is somebody getting knocked out.
That's it.
That's all we know.
That's all you need to know.
That's all we need to know.
He kept saying, don't go get your popcorn. Don't drop
Don't
your phone.
No.
Don't go to the bathroom. Like, do that astronaut thing.
For this horrible city of ours here, in Las Vegas, we all show up late to fights and things like that.
Do it.
Don't show up too late.
Don't do it.
Because after that bell rings, man, somebody's got to go. And it's going to be violent.
It's going to be violent. And even Ortiz is saying somebody's getting knocked out. It's going to be him or me. It's going to be.
And I love the backhanded compliments. Deontay, he's a superstar, man. He really is. The superstar backhanded compliments of, I'm doing this. I'm helping him and his family. And at the same time, I'm knock him out.
Yeah, I'm going to whoop his behind for his daughter.
He's going to get more opportunities after I knock him out. I love this, man. It's exactly what boxing needs. But it wasn't just the big guys.
Nah.
We got a championship fight in the undercard, too.
Yep.
Leo Santa Cruz, a very decorated fighter. Championship belts in 3 weight classes. He's going for his 4th.
Perhaps one of my favorite featherweights ever.
Yeah, Leo Santa Cruz, an incredible boxer, incredible guy, friend of the show, too. We got a quick clip of him. Is he maybe looking past Miguel Flores? Let's look at this quick clip.
And I want to fight the big names. I want to fight like Gervonta Davis, Gary Russell, the unification, and the big fights.
I know it's very quick and it's kind of taken out of context there, but Cece, do you think he's looking past Miguel Flores?
No, not in the sense that he's being disrespectful to Flores. He has so much experience. He's had so many big fights. He's won a whole bunch of championships. I think there is a danger, though, in it becoming kind of business as usual, and you can get caught with someone who has a style that just might be able to take advantage of you a little bit. But Santa Cruz is such a humble fighter, too. I'm going to tell you a little backstory on that clip. It was a little bit longer, but I was trying to get to him, and I kind of like tripped over like a chair, so I was trying to climb over. I told you I had on those boots, right? I got up.
You're small, so it must have been something else.
Listen, it might have been like, somebody's nickel they dropped or something like that.
Like some McDonald's French fries.
And when I got up, I was so disheveled, like my hair was like all on one side. So that's why you don't even see me in the clip.
You haven't fixed it?
No, you don't even see me in the clip because it was like all like on top of my head, like I just woke up or something. I edited that mess out, and I just got the important part of the clip. I'm letting y'all know some stuff that happens behind the
scenes there. So
my mind is a bunch of cats and balloons sometimes. I don't know.
Crazy cats and balloons. So he was talking about his opponent Miguel Flores,
who
you've spent a lot of time with, and that you really like as a person, and you got to actually speak to him on a longer set, talking about just the fight upcoming and how he views things, and let's check out your interview there with a little special appearance by someone else.
It's your next time.
Surprise!
There you go. IBF champs. There you go.
Dr. Cousineau, your girl, the Sportsnista, here with Miguel Flores. Miguel, you're an underdog. Does that really matter that much to you? Is it you're just going to go about your business no matter if you were the underdog or the favorite?
No, it doesn't matter to me. It's actually motivation. It's fuel to me. You know, I love it when people say I can't do something because I want to show to them I can do it. So that's motivation. I actually, it takes pressure on my shoulders because nobody's expecting nothing from me. Everything's being expected from Leo. So all the pressure's on him. He has to perform good. I just got to go in there and fight. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fight my butt off and I'm going to pull off this victory.
What do you think people will be surprised to see from you?
Just my ring IQ. Trust me, I can box better than people think. I'm going to offset them. I'm going to move. And if it comes down to it, we have to fight. I'm ready to start hooking. I'm ready to start brawling.
Is this the fight that you wanted or it just happened to be available and you jumped at it?
Obviously, I followed Leo for many years. I always kind of talked about it like, hey, one day maybe, because we're from the same hometown in state of Michoacan, in Mexico, Michoacan. So I always kind of kept him in the radar. Of course, you know, fast forward about 10 years, I never thought I would actually be in this position. But when I presented myself, I had no doubt about it. You know, obviously we had a few setbacks, but I'm ready. I'm ready for the challenge, and it's a fight I've always wanted.
Dude, like, you got so much energy right now. I'm ready to, like, go. Let's be Saturday night already. We've talked a lot about family this week and about what it means to you to have the memory of your brother be here with you.
Yes, obviously, I mean, like you said, we're ready to go. We're ready for it to be Saturday. My trainer's got to tell me to calm down a little bit. You know, it's not time yet. But obviously, I mean, like, I see Leo, his brothers, they're so close, and like, it's like a good jealous feeling. Like, I'm like, okay, he has his family, but I know I have my brother with me every step of the way. I know my brother fights with me every time I step in the ring. He's my extra motivation. He's my fuel to keep going. And Saturday night is going to be no different. I know he's going to be right there with me, helping me calm these nerves, helping me get through all this. And Sunday morning, God willing, I'm going to have that WBA belt wrapped around my waist.
You sleeping much these days?
Actually, I've been sleeping pretty damn good these last few days. Yeah, I've been sleeping, and the first thing I would think of, okay, fight time. Not yet, okay? So I've been sleeping good. I've been getting good rest, getting good meals, and I'm just ready to go, man. Like I said, my trainer's got to tell me to calm down a little bit. We're just going through the motion right now. Let it all out Saturday night.
My man Flores here is hyped. Let's go.
There you go. Miguel Flores. Yeah, he seems pretty calm, actually. He seems pretty fired up, man. You know,
he needs to, they need to check his Mountain Dew. He's a nice kid, good-looking kid. He's going to get touched up on Saturday night. He's going to get touched up. The little backstory on Miguel Flores is he turned pro when he was 17, and that was his older brother was also a boxer, and he actually passed away due to injuries sustained in the ring the same year that he turned pro. And so that's what he means when he's talking about the memory of his brother. Also, Santa Cruz, his father trains him, his brother's involved in his camp, and so he's kind of watching this family affair and still having in the back of his mind what he kind of wished for himself. But got a great attitude. He is making $100,000 for this fight. I think Santa Cruz, the Nevada State Athletic Commission said he's making $700,000. There might be some bonuses and other things involved in that, but it is probably the most money that Miguel Flores has ever made for one fight. And so he's just got, his eyes are so wide, and it's the brightest lights that he's ever fought in. So good luck to that kid. I hope Leo don't hurt himself too badly, but I do expect Leo Santa Cruz to win that fight.
And you never know, man. You never know.
Andy Ruiz.
Andy Ruiz, a guy who holds every belt except Deontay Wilder's now.
Pretty much.
I mean, you're talking about crazier things have happened, right? Buster Douglas, 42-1 kind of odds. So Miguel Flores, go in there, make yourself famous.
Holly Holm.
Holly Holm, kick somebody in the head. And we, of course, don't want to leave out the challenger, Luis Ortiz, who has been closer than anyone besides Tyson Fury to stopping Deontay Wilder. That wild 7th round of their first fight. He comes in. You saw him up close. You saw him personal. He looks slimmer. He looks like he could not tire out this fight. And
he could kill it on the Peloton bike. Peloton bike.
One of those mirrors. Have you seen those mirrors?
Yes, I want
where you jump across one. Okay,
Quan got one of them right there.
maybe. Yeah. Quan does have one. He's in here exercising between pizzas and Taco Bell. And so we didn't want to leave Mr. Ortiz out about his cardio going into this fight. Perhaps.
Luis, you came in the best shape that we've ever seen you in. How much of that is Coach Wade and how much of that is just a change in mindset for you?
Que estás en una condición suprema que se ve cuánto es el entrenamiento y Coach Wade y cuánto es el sacrificio y la determinación tuya de ganar esta pelea.
He cumplido mi sueño, he hecho todo lo que se me ha pedido, me he sacrificado y quiero pelear para lograr hacerlo.
It's a combination of both, of course. He's asked to do something, he does it, and obviously there's trainers in place for that know which way to steer it. So his sacrifice is bigger than the first fight, and he still feels the same way about that. He wants to win this fight, wants to be world champion. So it's been a sacrifice, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ortiz talking about Coach Wade and his motivation going into it. Did you get that feeling being around both these camps, especially Ortiz, that he's got a different mindset coming into this one?
I think he does. He's definitely in the best shape that probably he's ever been in at the age of 40, nonetheless. Coach Wade might be the best fitness and strength and conditioning coaches in all of boxing in the world. He is that good. He's Sean Porter's trainer as well.
Yep.
And he can be a difference maker. The thing that Deontay Wilder said, he looks good, is a little too late though. So let's see if he's, just in impeccable shape for a 40-year-old, or if he's really done the work necessary to get in there and challenge Deontay Wilder. But they're very friendly.
Oftentimes it's most fans who don't care to know or look behind the scenes, how these guys come up and how much money they have to put towards different things. And then you get a high profile fight, just like Andy Ruiz. You go in there, you knock him out and everything, but you get paid a higher amount of money. And then all of a sudden you can afford a nutritionist. You can afford a weight trainer. You can afford a strength and conditioning coach. Just like Luis Ortiz, now you're in these different fights now. Now you have a different look and everything, but it shows you the difference between the haves and the have-nots, and how much money actually goes into these sports. So before we leave you,
it's a good point. It's a really good point.
Before we leave you from Fight Week, that's something to really consider. And honestly, because it goes for UFC and everything else, the difference between a George St. Pierre, who has gobs of money and has all these nutritionists and coaches and things like that, and say a Jason Knight, who's coming in making $2,000 a fight or something like that, where you can barely pay your gym dues.
Get some Funyuns in it.
you get a bag of chips, maybe a ham sandwich, but you don't get a parking space. You still got to you got to park where I park to come in here.
On some roller skates.
Which is I don't know where Quan parks, but I know it's not where I park. I go through the Gito.
It's a good point, but
valet.
Well, it's $2, man. $2 a valet.
I ain't got $2. What do you think this is?
Eight quarters. 10 dimes. But Deontay Wilder has his trainer is Jay Dees, like Dees nut. No. I'm a child. I can't help it. I'm a child.
Coming up next, C. Williams.
But nobody was watching me. But he's been with Deontay. He's been get that pink football. He's been with Deontay Wilder for 15 years since Deontay first walked into a gym. So someone like Deontay Wilder, who is an American-born heavyweight, 10th title defense, he still has his same trainer from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or wherever he's from. Now, everybody else probably changed up, but not that guy.
Not him. And before we leave you, a lot of people talking about Luis Ortiz, 40 years old. Why would somebody want to step in there with a 40-year-old man? You got nothing to prove. You get knocked out. You got knocked out by a 40-year-old man. But if you knock him out, then you knocked out an old man. But
can't do that.
According to Deontay Wilder, this is why it's so important that he steps in again with Luis Ortiz after their first bout.
Ortiz or Fury? Ortiz. You have to really think when you fight Ortiz. Why you think fighters will call him old but won't go in there and beat his old ass? They don't want to fight him. And with that being said, it makes him more dangerous. It makes him, I put him on a high pedestal
Why was he more dangerous?
because his intellect in the ring. I mean, he has over 360 some amateur fights, and you see how he moves in the ring. He's very strategic. He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing, and I think above anything else, I think Deontay Wilder wants to prove, like, maybe that 7th round was just a fluke. Because he got touched up.
He did.
And it came close.
Yeah, he
and
had
if it wasn't
a whole minute and a half to
if
survive
the
in there.
referee, referees always give champs the benefit of the doubt. They always do. You got to take it from the champ, okay?
Right.
So if the referee, wouldn't have given him a little bit of space there, another referee in MMA may have stopped the fight.
Yep, he could have.
He could have lost his belt, you know. So I think it's very important for you. This fight is very personal for both of these men.
Yeah.
And I think that makes for a great heavyweight fight.
Listen, the heavyweights are in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a great week for
That's
boxing.
Caesar's Palace.
Heck, in the parking lot.
Yeah, that's in the parking lot. That's guys in parachutes falling into the ring.
Yeah, speaking of heavyweights, old school Lennox Lewis was in the house. I actually talked to him briefly. He didn't want to be on camera. I did take he wanted to take a photo.
Did you take a photo with Lennox Lewis?
Yeah,
you did?
I did.
Come on, man.
He's tall. He's tall. But
so it's the top of your scalp in Lennox Lewis, huh?
Just like,
hey, there you go. That's something for the grandkids.
But he did say that people may be underestimating Ortiz, and you can never underestimate someone with that kind of power and that kind of experience. And I don't know if people are underestimating him. I think that Deontay Wilder is getting just due.
I like it.
So we're going to see.
I like it. So we'll give our official picks at the end of the show. We'll even let Quan chime in. I know he's going to say 49ers, but we'll do the official picks. What are your official picks? 702-608-3259. For your official picks, Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder, Leo Santa Cruz, Miguel Flores. Great pay-per-view coming up. Let's move on real quickly to a segment that I let you name, called Yeah, Nah, or Hell Nah. And that is absolutely 100% CC.
I have hypoglycemia.
You know what? I'm
low blood sugar.
going to let you read these in since you named the subject and segment. I'm going to let you do it. It's not called Knock Your Mama Off Your Shoulder, but it is Yeah, Nah, or Hell Nah.
And the only contender in this segment goes to PBC. We're going to stay with PBC on Fox. And the VP of Fox Sports has come out and said that they are moving towards having a PBC belt. They will have a PBC champion and a PBC tournament. And to that, I say, hell nah. Hell no. It's not good for the fans. It's not good for boxing. The one thing I will say about PBC fighters is that it's a very happy camp. These guys, there's a lot of camaraderie. We saw Caleb Plant walking around. I expect on Saturday, like, they bring out their whole stable comes out to support one another. How much of camaraderie and, coolness can you have between your fighters? You have to have some animosity in order to sell the fights. Like, everybody just can't be cool. You run through the whole stable, and then what you got? You got to fight again? Man, please. Terrence Crawford need to be fighting Errol Spence at some point in 2020, but hell no to that.
How about Errol Spence? He's been popping up a lot. A lot lately. Seen a couple of different pictures on social media at different restaurants around Dallas and doing a couple of things like that. Not really talking a whole lot to the media. Not really wanting to digress his injuries or his recovery or anything like that. Not wanting to give up too much, but he is popping up. He is walking around under his own power. So that's a great sign for the young man. But and I'll get to answering your segment question here. But what do you think about Errol Spence popping up and kind of putting this brave face on to, I guess, Well, the whoever came out and said, I think WBC came out and said, "Hey, look, he's perfectly fine. There's no reason for an interim champion since he's up and moving around, and he'll be fine in a couple of months."
Well,
what do you think about that?
If they have an interim champion, that interim champion is probably not going to be a PBC fighter. That's why they don't want it. So they're going to fight very hard, and they're going to have Errol out there. Because, listen, they know the cameras are going to follow the guy. They know that he's going to get some publicity. But I also just hope, genuinely that he's healing up.
Right.
And it's good for him to be out there and not just good for the promotion. Although Al Heyman takes very good care of his stable of fighters. So.
I haven't heard too many complaints.
No, they don't. But you look at these purses, though. I think Deontay Wilder's is 3.1 million, and DAZN offered him 100 million. So he would have been, he would have had basically the Canelo deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, half
Canelo,
half
365.
Canelo. A third of Canelo he would have had. A third of Canelo, but he would have had to fight less fights. Than Canelo as well. So he would have made more money, but maybe he wouldn't have other business opportunities.
That's what we call generational money.
That's generational money.
You're handing that down to your grandkids.
And then they kids.
And they kids. And then they're all spoiled rotten and idiots, and they ain't never hold a job before.
Yeah, somebody got to raise idiots. That's
Marvin Gaye's kids.
Why can't my kids raise some idiots?
I know, right? So let me go back here to your
hell
no.
Nah. What you got
about the PBC creating its own belt? You know what? Why not? The WBC is out there creating franchise champions, which means nothing and elevating. Not that I'm saying Devin Haney isn't, a legit guy, because he is a legit boxer and everything. And shout out, we're going to talk about Devin Haney in a minute here, but why not? Everyone else is creating their own damn belt.
Because it's bad for the people. That's why.
We got the GC. We got the Gorilla Cross Studios belt.
Where that belt at?
It got defended, I think, on the Unnamed show or something like that. Or I think one of the ladies from the Girl Chat Sport.
I
think Mo has it.
Mo got it.
She scares me, man. She got a mean left hook.
You hear this, Mo? I know she listens.
So I'm not putting it past her, man. She knocked me out. She'll take my round one. She could take that belt, man. But I say, why not? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Create your own damn belt.
But then what happens when those four guys in the division that they have?
What happens when the WBA or BO came along? What happened when the WBA?
It's terrible. It's just absolutely terrible.
Just more unifying fights.
You know who it works for? UFC. But similarly, they are both promoters. But the difference is boxing has a real lineage. Much deeper than UFC has. There's too much history to look past the fact that
just created a belt.
UFC
just created a
they
BMF
also were
belt.
fighting in the backyard with chickens at one point. So
Jorge Masvidal actually got his start fighting in the backyard with chickens.
Can't
with
be
Kimbo
mad at
Slice and Dada 5000 or whatever.
I say hell no.
It's something. I was like, but if you got the money,
which they
whatever. And they got guys that'll fight over it for $200,000.
Listen, I'm for it after Terrence Crawford gets that shot. After they have that unified fight, and hey, you have all the incestuous belts that you need to have.
Incestuous belts?
That's what it is.
I would say from Alabama, but I think Deontay Wilder would not like me saying that.
Maybe Mississippi.
Okay, so looking ahead, let's go ahead and look ahead at some of these fights. Let's do a little MMA here. UFC Fight Night. Alistair Overeem makes his return against Rosenstruck, who has dangerous, heavy hands. We just saw him knocking out some people left and right. And it's kind of the return of a few familiar names. Aspen Ladd returns against Yana Kunitskaya. And Stefan Struve, the skyscraper. All 6'11" of him. Comes back against Big Ben Rothwell, who I think just come back from was he
playing for Pittsburgh?
He got caught doping?
He might have been.
Or did he have an injury? It's one of those with Big Ben. Come on.
We don't say it was an injury.
Big Ben.
Says I don't know, I'm gonna put it out there.
Stefan
like
Struve, Aspen Ladd, Alistair Overeem. Pretty good fight night card. Actually, if you go down through there, it's I think Tim Means is on the card. Some names.
That's a good in between big card fight night.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not something you would pay for on a pay-per-view.
No.
But a fight night that I'm paying on
Is it
ESPN already.
Yeah.
I'll watch
It's worth it.
I'll watch it when my daughter streams Aladdin
There
on
you
Disney
go.
Plus.
Disney Plus, man. It's trying to take my soul.
Another
Take my
$7
soul.
just out of my
can't-
pocket.
I can't with all these apps. Somebody got to go.
I know someone's
It's
got
going to
it.
have to be a death match.
I'm already getting rid of things. I got rid of stars. I got rid of all kinds of
I
stuff.
never had stars to get rid of, but I would have.
I don't know why I had stars to begin with.
You watching Power?
Yes. There you go. Actually, you know what? It was American Gods. American Gods. I was watching that one, and then it got really, really stupid.
They always do.
They all do.
Yeah.
And then I stopped watching it. Across into our European brethrens, John Ryder, Caleb Smith, the WBC Diamond Super Middle. See, another made-up title. The Diamond.
Yeah, but it's pretty.
Super
That
Middle
belt is
title
pretty.
on DAZN. We could have the Gorilla Cross Diamond Super Middle.
It's, well,
it's
let's
it's
have
this.
it.
It's this
Let's
water
have
bottle. It's half empty.
Is it water in that bottle?
Unless it's half full. I don't know. It depends on how you
It's
look at
always
all
half
these.
full because there's water, but the rest is air. So
It all
is
depends
half
on
full.
how you look at the championship belts. But they're fighting over something called the Diamond Super Middle
Yeah.
title on DAZN. DAZN snatched up rights everywhere.
Callum Smith.
Callum Smith.
Yeah, should be.
I can't
like
wait
the
till
kid.
you guy who made this special appearance,
Uh,
Caleb Plant.
Caleb Plant,
I can't
Callum
wait till
Smith.
Caleb Plant's next
Yeah,
fight.
hey.
A good fighter.
Yep, he is.
Good fighter.
Just
So-
got buried too, so him and
Oh, good for
Jordan.
him.
Yeah. Congrats, kids.
Excuse
you
me.
crazy kids.
I got that Vegas flu that's going on.
Yeah. Do we need to put you down or like,
do,
what's
do,
happening?
do we want to do Let Me Level with you before we do our official picks? Or do we want to do our official picks before Let Me Level with you?
Let's
Do you want to
pick.
gripe before you pick, or do you want to pick before you gripe?
Let's pick.
This is often how I
Yeah.
explain things to my wife.
We-
I'm
always up for
so
gripe.
we're gonna do picks. We're gonna do arguments before we do gripes. It's Festivus indeed here at Gorilla Cross. All right, so picks. Let's go Santa Cruz, Flores, CC. What do you think?
Yeah, it's gonna be Santa Cruz. He's just got too much. This guy, he punches and bunches. That's the thing. He's very slick, and he's got way too much experience. It's gonna be a good experience for Flores, but I got Santa Cruz.
I'm gonna look over here to our guy Quan.
I
Santa
got,
Cruz, Flores.
Yeah, I got Santa Clara.
Santa Clara.
Over Green Bay.
Santa Clara over
Right.
Green Bay.
But the 49ers are gonna slip on in there, and they'll get the higher seed.
The 49ers at 9-1 are gonna just they got finally their tough stretch of games. The next three games, if you want to call it that.
They played nobody.
They're playing for the playoffs
Yeah.
now, baby. Now the games are real at 9-1 for the 49ers. You have a pick? Santa Cruz?
Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. All right.
Sounds better.
Santa Claus.
You know what? On that one, I'm going to take Mr. Flores.
All right.
I'm going to take
You
Mr.
know
Flores.
what,
I like
though?
the underdog stuff.
Yeah, I might put $5 on him though,
Yeah.
because
There you go. Get back all 250.
yeah, no pay, no. I might get back 20.
There you go.
I don't know. I have
All
no
right.
idea what these odds are.
So the big one, Wilder Ortiz. Do I even have to guess with you guys? Are we doing
Bomb
Wilder?
Squad. Yeah, I didn't do that justice.
I got Wilder in 4.
Wilder in 4.
That long.
I'm taking. You know what? I'm taking Ortiz simply because I haven't forgotten about our bet from last week.
Man, I'm not eating
The
no
bet
turkey. I'm
is-
telling Deontay
The
about
bet
it Saturdays,
is
man.
if Luis Ortiz wins, if he wins by any means, if he wins, I don't care if Hulk
If you
Hogan
kick
runs
him in the head or something.
and hits him with a chair. Okay, if Luis Ortiz wins, the Sportsnista will be breaking her vegetarian vegan thing,
Almost
and she'll be
20
eating some
years
turkey
since I
on
had
air with
turkey.
us.
You're gonna ruin my colon.
And I'm telling you, we're gonna have cameras in here and everything. So I'm gonna go with the underdogs in both of these.
I'm gonna have a conversation with Deontay Wilder and a couple of judges.
Yeah.
That could happen.
Not any of the judges from Rio. They're banned.
I
Yeah,
need some of
any
them
of
judges.
those.
No,
All
it's
right.
not gonna go the distance.
And do we have the bomb squad thing? Do we have that video in there?
5 seconds, maybe. Yeah.
Do we have that one in there? The Wilder bomb squad. Well, let's get that queued up. We're gonna save that for the end here. So we won't need it at this moment, but we'll get that queued up. So before we get to all the Bomb Squad stuff, we started a new segment last week called Let Me Level With You. And it's basically just old people griping about stuff.
Oh.
I'm not talking about CCB.
No,
I was talking about people being in my lawn. Last week I talked about The Zone and their horrible productions. This week we're going to start out with CC. We're going to let her just take it for a moment and let her level with you. Sportsnista, please take it away.
Let me level with you. This week, I'm going to talk about something that don't have nothing to do with sports. It's just basic life and survival as a parent. Let me level with you public school education and Common freaking Core. I was doing Common Core math with my second grader, and listen, 27 minus 10, the answer is not 17. The answer is the 17 steps that you need to take to get to the answer, which is 17, which in no way possible prepares my child to actually exist in the real world. They're preparing these children for juvie. You know how you end up in juvie? You end up in juvie if you're in second grade and you take too long to answer the questions and you get antsy because you're frustrated, and then your teacher tells you to sit down and you don't. So you guess what? You got to go to the principal's office. And after you start going to the principal's office, you start getting labeled and you act up and you do other things. And pretty soon you end up in juvie. So Common Core, if I was Godzilla, I would pee on Common Core and then I would sit my nutsack on it. That's how much I hate Common Core. And I don't even know where that just came from. Okay? I was just thinking about Godzilla because it's raining. So
does Godzilla have a nutsack?
I just had to level with you. That's how much I hate Common Core. I would disrespect it.
What? I don't know if I want to think about that. I got to go back to the movie.
He's never been clothed, so you would see them like swinging
He
around
is
over
a
the building.
monster, old,
Is he male or
disrespectful
female?
wave.
Is Godzilla male or female?
Gotta be. Well, you gotta be tearing stuff up
Because
like
the
that
other
for no
monsters had
reason.
eggs. They had eggs,
Yeah.
and the eggs were hatched.
Godzilla been tearing stuff up for no reason, fighting King Kong and them. Godzilla is a dude monster.
You gotta be a man.
Gotta be. Stealing land and stuff. That's a dude.
Stealing land.
The white man.
So Godzilla is a metaphor for the white man. This is a metaphor for nuclear experimentation, right?
Just like drop the huevos on it.
All right, so let me level with you before we call it a night. And I'm going to talk to you, fight fans. Yes, you, the fight fans who like to comment on, these Facebook posts and Instagram posts from fighters who are retiring or fighters who just, admit that they're, hey, I got caught in that last fight. And you leave some snarky ass remark, ha ha ha, that's why your ass should not be fighting no more. You a bum, you always been a bum. And you say stupid stuff like that and everything. Let me tell you something. I know you weigh 280 pounds and you texting from your mama's couch and everything while your wife is upstairs with your mama making you a hot pocket and everything. You call it Ben Askren a bum? Really?
Yeah.
Because he had the audacity to go 19-2 in his MMA career and he's a bum? Dude, when you put stuff like that and you a 39-year-old man, it makes you look like an idiot. You're a fool for putting stuff like that. Okay? I know it's the internet and I know you got safety and security from typing from your phone in Bismarck, Montana, or wherever the hell you're stupid from, okay, and that no nonsense town that no one cares 3 minutes from you who the hell you are, okay? But for you to sit on someone else's thread and call them a bum after you have a life achievement of nothing just makes you look like an idiot. You look like a fool, all right? So I'm tired. I'm tired of fight fans. I'm tired of you. Oh, I like John Jones. Why do you like John Jones? Because he's never lost? Oh, I'm with the best ever. I'm with Floyd Mayweather. Why? Because he's never lost? Because you're so insecure in yourself that you can't back somebody that has a loss on their record? That's on you, bro. That's not on me. That's on you. Because you are broken inside. We never talk about Muhammad Ali's losses, Joe Frazier's losses, Chuck Liddell's losses. You know, everyone loses in the fight game eventually. But for fight fans to stand up there and when you see a post, you know, on the whoever it is, PBC, Top Rank, Golden Boy, whoever it is, I'm only with this fighter because he's never lost. You're chicken. You're chicken something else. If we were on the Vegas Hype Network, I would call you something else.
Yeah,
but that's me leveling with you. You're 40 years old. You never did anything. I don't even know what your job is, but it can't be that good. Stop doing stuff like that. Done with it.
Ignoramuses.
God, that pisses me off. I'm done with it. So we did the picks, and we leveled with you. And if you're still sticking around for our show, we're going to be here every single Thursday.
Except next week.
Except next week. It's Thanksgiving next week. We'll let you off next week. We'll have a different level with you next week. But on Wednesday.
Wednesday from the Viking Gods. It was a fun show. Enjoy the fights this weekend. Oh, you want to Devin Haney real quick?
Oh, Devin Haney. Yes. Mario Serrano, who we had on a couple of weeks ago, the publicist, sent us something for Devin Haney. Devin Haney, after his win, I think he made $1 million in his purse for his fight on the KSI Logan Paul 2 undercard. Instead of, buying a new car or whatever, this guy goes to Skid Row in Los Angeles. He gives out turkey dinners. He feeds the homeless. When they run out of food, the guy takes a stack of money. He goes outside. He's giving it away to people. Something that he did not have to do. Something that his team did not have to do.
Good stuff.
But Devin Haney did it because that's the kind of guy that Devin Haney is.
Shout
so, talk to Mario, and hopefully we're going to have Devin Haney on soon to kind of talk about that and where he goes from, his last fight and everything.
He's getting shoulder surgery soon.
With all the bad news out there going on, and we're reaching the holidays and everything, we wanted to tell you guys, Devin Haney, and there's not only Devin Haney, there's lots of fighters that do stuff like this, especially here in Vegas. But Devin Haney's one of our own, so we wanted to give him a special shout out. And Devin Haney, you and your team keep doing stuff like that, man. Even if people in the media, people in the press aren't talking about it doesn't matter. He'd still go out there and he'd still do the same damn thing. So hats off to Devin Haney.
Props, man.
Absolutely. So for Quan 59, the Sportsnista, thank you for all your hard work on Fight Week, talking to everyone. We will see you next week. I'm Jeremy Long. This is Levels. We'll see you.
Squad! The baddest man on the planet.